I was the best medic that Battlefield has ever seen.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The most highly trained sniper that has ever been on Liberation Peak. I'm f***ing insane. The only hardcore engineer that was willing to keep those tanks alive. And I ran around with a shotgun and destroyed everyone. The Battlefield 6 beta was amazing. It definitely had its issues. There's a man. I can't... I'm hitting you. I am hitting you. Without a doubt, I'm shooting you in the face. But I think all around, it was a good experience for everyone. I will say the way Twitch drops were used to get early access to the beta was some of the worst I've ever seen. I hate Twitch drops. They're not good. They're kind of glitchy sometimes. You got to sign in and it doesn't tell you to sign in. It's not great. But you know, the game ran properly. The servers didn't die. I didn't have any connection issues. Everything just worked. I expected the servers to shit the bed day one, but even with 500,000 players for a peak on Steam alone, the servers didn't have any problems. There was even a queue to get into the early access beta. That's insane. On top of that, there is even a queue to get into the game before the game was even out. The first week of the beta, I'm having a blast, trying out all the classes, trying out different weapons, never using the planes or helicopters because I am terrible with them. But I had to get used to Battlefield again. I didn't want to go in there with like a COD brain and just think that it's magically possible to 1v12 an entire enemy team. The last Battlefield I played properly was Battlefield 1. I saw a lot of the discourse around Battlefield 5 and especially 2042, and I didn't want to waste my money and try to see if those games were good. So it's been a minute since I've experienced all-out war. But playing the first weekend was great. You could tell that everyone was confused on what to do. Some people have clearly never played the game before, and that's okay. There wasn't a meta yet. That was awesome. People are still learning. The gunplay isn't terrible. There is basically no recoil, but more bloom from what I could tell. The maps were intentionally smaller than what would be expected from a Battlefield game. They know gamers want them, but it was important to test out smaller maps to see how the tempo of the match was affected. Playing with a controller and on console was a little finicky at times. There are moments where I had to kind of fight to respawn myself. At the same time, I couldn't find the settings for haptic triggers, so I just had to completely disable them in my settings. And another thing was if you turn crossplay on, aim assist seemed to kind of disappear. I don't have any idea what was going on with that. But what was discovered in the first week was the shotgun is insanely strong, rightfully so. I think the reason why it felt so strong was because all the maps we had access to were mostly close quarters. Besides this map is what Battlefield maps should be like every time. Very big, very large. And other than shotguns, people learned that the defibrillators are really good. I loved killing people with them. That was awesome. People learned how to exploit and get onto parts of the map that they shouldn't be at. What the f? That dude is floating! And that was probably my biggest problem overall from the beta. Well, that and something else, but I'll get into that in just a minute. Let me explain the exploit first. A lot of weirdos learned how to abuse the parachuting mechanic to get up on top of buildings or just higher up into areas that aren't accessible otherwise. I also saw this TikTok of someone launching their car up into the air. Don't know how they did it, but they were able to get up onto another place that isn't accessible. And there are two options here. DICE can either make it so getting up into these areas is impossible. It'll display out of combat and you'll die if you're here for more than 10 seconds. Or they make it so that there's stairs, zip lines, even ladders to get up into these places. You don't need all of them, just some of them. I think the best option is making it accessible to everyone and not just have it so that people who know the glitch are the only ones who can get up there. There are some people in the community or just that played the beta that were, you know, rage baiting online saying, oh, just snipe them, just kill them. Most of the time, the people that get up there are recons and they'll just put a respawn beacon and then their whole squad can spawn on them. It's not fair, plain and simple. Especially on a map like Siege of Cairo where helicopters and planes aren't even able to be used. Like, look at this dude. There's just a whole squad up here. And the other big problem I noticed was in the second week of the beta. The matchmaking felt off. I have no other way of explaining it. I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket of believing there was something rigged with the matchmaker, but I can definitely say the game didn't feel the same going from week 1 to 2. Maybe it's because people learned the game and, you know, there's a lot more videos that came out, people understand it more. But if you played Rush or Breakthrough, you might have dealt with something similar to me, where if you did extremely well in one match, like my friends and I did, the next match, no matter what, if you leave or not, will just be way harder. My friends and I did Rush, and we were on attack, and we slaughtered the other team. It was like 8 minutes, 5 minutes, very quick game. Then every single time we tried to find another game of Rush, it kept giving us defense. And at the same time, when we just said, all right, we'll play the match out, our teammates just weren't participating. No one was really playing. It felt like we were the only people actively trying to play the game. It felt really lopsided, and that wasn't enjoyable. After a bit, it's like, okay, this is dumb, and I got off. I legit just logged off for the day, because that is very annoying. It's been stated that Battlefield 6 has some skill-based matchmaking, but it's also been explained further that it's more of a team balancing sort of system. In short, it's supposed to make it so that each team has roughly the same number of good and bad players. Makes it a little bit more fair. I think this is great. I don't mind team balancing in a respawn shooter at all, especially when you have 24v24 or 12v12. There's a lot of people. Something I do mind is that the streamers were giving this game a run for its money. Yeah, let's add a battle pass, battle royale, and everything else that quite literally kills any organic and natural joy for a video game. I've heard from friends that apparently they are adding a battle royale and a battle pass, and to be honest, I can understand the battle pass, but there are some rules that should hopefully be followed. Any battle pass they add shouldn't expire. You should be able to buy it at any time, regardless of, if you missed the time when it first came out. And it should give the currency back for what you spent to get it. No time limits all around, just make it very consumer friendly, and I'll be on board with it. And now a battle royale, it could be good in theory, but gamers like myself have dealt with battle royales for so many years now that it would just be far more interesting to see literally anything else. Like Portal. It's pretty cool. It's like the Forge from Halo, and it lets you create anything you want. There's community created maps, and you can even earn XP in these maps. There's even going to be a server browser for it. That's pretty cool, but that's as far as it goes for a server browser. There will be no server browser for normal multiplayer, and this means if you live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, you can't connect to some server across the world if you need to. You'll sit in a queue forever. They did add a custom search feature similar to Call of Duty. You can choose whatever modes you want to play, and in this one, you can pick whatever maps. Just gotta take a second to search through this to find what I'm looking for here. Where's the setting to change my buttons on the controller? Okay, I found it. Do I use a D-pad or do I use the analog stick to move in this menu? I'm confused. Yeah, the UI or the menus, they're not the greatest, okay? I really do hope they overhaul them, and obviously don't treat it like some big update, but just do it when the game fully releases. Like, change a lot of it. It's not great. There's a reason why us OG gamers here that played Black Ops 2 and the older Battlefield games really like the drop-down menus that are just simple. It's simple, cut and dry. That's all that we like. But there are good things to come with Battlefield 6. There were some talks of bringing back fan favorite maps. That's awesome. They won't be adding random collabs that are out of place or could break the immersion for the game. You don't even have to use the EA app to play, and Secure Boot is required to play on PC. Some of that is already a thing, but it's good news. Granted, we already have people that are supposedly cheating, but I'll assume that DICE will do their best to get rid of cheaters as fast as possible. And they probably have investigated the players that are going very popular on Twitter. I will say a lot of the clips I've seen can be pretty suspicious, not because I'm terrible at video games, but because it doesn't seem natural, and I don't really like it. But I'm not going to accuse someone. Allegedly they're cheating. But altogether, the beta wasn't horrible. Gunplay was great. Didn't feel like I was dying before. I shoot someone, they shoot me after, and then I die. Like, none of that. It was great. Definitely a lot of people that don't respect the medics. You'll be a medic and try to res someone, then they don't let you. That's awesome. Or you'll have a medic stand on top of your corpse. There's a lot of stuff like that. That's not great. There are some things that weren't the greatest, but I had fun for its time. I like doing the challenges and stuff like that. I can't really complain with it. I hope that they make it much better. Here is hoping for the best. I hope Battlefield 6 does well, enough for them to not do yearly games in the next 5 years. Did you guys see that? That's crazy. Let's not do that. And I hope all goes well and the game stays fun, because I enjoyed it. Maybe you enjoyed it too. Let me know down in the comments what your experience was like with Battlefield 6. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, subscribe. But okay, I won't self-promote too much. Thank you guys for watching. Eat water, drink food, stay safe. See ya.